ナードホールズ、ケイレブとウィル、ドラゴンボールを視聴。
All right, what is up, everybody? Welcome back to another exciting episode of Dragon Ball Rewatch Nerdhole Cast. Probably have a little bit more energy because we're doing this at night tonight.
No, definitely not tired.
Usually we do it like first thing, like Sunday morning, because then we're just like, so remember when Goku, he was like, climbing the tower? That was cool.
That's cool. That's cool.
Nah, but not tonight. Tonight we're full of energy. We're ready. We're excited. We're covering the first half of the Piccolo Jr. saga. This is the last saga of Dragon Ball, Will.
It's true.
Not to what we're doing tonight. Next time on the second half. But this Saga 9 is the last Dragon Ball saga. So then we move on to Z. Which is kind of crazy. It feels like we've been doing this for over a year. Isn't that weird?
How strange.
How strange. That's weird. Isn't that weird? That's weird.
It's so weird.
All right, so let's start how we usually do. We got a lot of episodes to cover tonight because to split this in half, we're covering like 13 and 13. So something like that. Those are not the exact numbers, but
Nope.
they're close estimations.
I think it's 15, 16, but yeah.
Yeah, so close. Super
Yep.
close. So more than I. So I went high and still was low.
It was low.
Great.
Yeah.
All right, so let's start like how we usually do, Will. And why don't you tell me your thoughts on this section?
I hated it.
Well,
no. Yeah. Finally,
remember
my
that?
time has come.
This is what my entire purpose has been.
To get him so close to the end and then say, I'm not watching any more of this.
That's a really funny joke because, like, when we first started this, I was like, we can skip Dragon Ball, just go right to Dragon Ball Z. And you're like, what's Dragon Ball? And I was like, oh, it's just when Goku is like a child and it's his whole how he becomes. And you're like, well, we should definitely watch that. I was like, yeah, all right, let's watch that. So now we watch that. You're just like, I'm like done. I'm done with this. Well, now that we covered Dragon Ball, I'm officially
I have
all
no
set.
interest in watching Z. No.
Oh, this is what Z is? Oh.
This is all it's like. I did like fine up until Goku's doll, the episode of Goku's doll.
Yes.
And then I struggle bust.
Yeah.
They're walking their own ways and hotter than lava.
Yeah.
It was hard. I didn't.
Those are two filler episodes.
Yep. They were the most fillery I've felt in the series. So. And then changes happened.
Yeah. And you're like, this isn't even the same show.
It just, I don't know. It really, like, I like the tournament stuff. I like all that stuff. And I like a lot of the things, like what they're, what do you want to say? Like the stuff that they're like ramping up towards, like introductions of things. But it's just like, it's such a hard pivot for me. So it's like, I'm having a hard time, like, really enjoying it.
Are you bummed? Are you bummed not like kind of saying goodbye to like kid Goku?
Yeah. It's just like Goku's voice is different, Krillan's voice is different.
Yep.
And obviously Chi-Chi's is different. And it's just like, I don't know, it just was such a hard pivot to be like 130 something episodes with the kid, and then the one just randomly one episode is like, nope. And I
Yeah.
get that that's part of the feel. You're supposed to feel like how Roshi and Bulma and Launch and Poir and Oolong all feel when they see
Yeah.
Goku and the rest of
The-
the gang. You're
mhm.
supposed to be like, oh my God, right? But
So for me it's great because I love Goku, but um it is kind of a hard pivot, like you said, and it's also one of those things where it's kind of like I don't understand the math
yeah, I don't know
because
how old
it's
he is.
I don't know, but even if he's like 12, now he's
Yeah.
15 because it's only 3 years.
Well, I get the impression, I'm sure somewhere in the if I look it up, I'm sure in the first episode it probably tells us how old he is.
I thought he was 10 because I thought him and Krillin did that thing where Krillin was like, "Oh, I'm 11." And Goku's like, "Oh, I'm 12."
Okay. I'll try not to spoil myself.
It's
So
just funny. It's just funny. I mean, so even when he fights King Piccolo last section, you can tell he's bigger.
yeah, I remember him kind of
They he
getting
you
bigger.
know, they drew him bigger. Uh, he's 12 at the 21st World Martial Arts Tournament after Red Ribbon Army.
So Red Ribbon Army happens, and he's what?
He's 12.
Okay, so
He's 12 at the 21st World Martial Arts Tournament, which is after the Red Ribbon Saga and Baba Saga. The next tournament is 3 years from now, so he's 15 for the 22nd World Martial Arts Tournament
which is when he
and
fights.
the King Piccolo Saga. Another 3 years
So
after
he's
that's the
18.
23rd. So he's 18 now. Okay. So that
So
checks
that
out.
makes it. That's why I was kind of like because they've done the tournament a couple times. You know what I mean? Like there's been at least 6 to 9 years covered.
Yes. Yeah, which
Well,
makes sense,
okay,
right? Because they've done two tournaments, which, like you said, is 6 years.
right,
This is the third tournament they've gone to, which is uh
right.
yeah, 8.
So yeah, it makes sense because
8
that would
years.
make, like you said, that makes Krillin like 17 or whatever, and
Yeah.
all
So
these.
does it comfort you at least knowing that these voice actors are all the same going forward?
Oh, sure, yeah. I assume they didn't change too much going forward, and it's not like it ruins anything for me.
Yeah,
It's just such a change.
it is. Yeah, it is.
He's just like he's goofy, but he's not really goofy anymore. Like Goku, you know what I mean? And it's like,
You won't lose that Goku's like goofiness,
yeah,
his kind of like stupidity. Like you won't
right,
lose going forward. It's just they're kind of playing it down now because he's just coming off of like uh training with like Kami and Popo.
right, and
So
Popo,
he's
right,
not as jovial,
right, right, right,
That's
right.
that's one of my complaints is that like the stuff that I want to kind of see him train up
Yeah,
with Popo is the kind of stuff they don't show. I mean, so he shows up and he's like he's everything that they wanted him to be. He can like sense people's like
right,
energy. He's like really like focused and stuff.
right.
And they show just enough of his training to show you like how hard his training is up there. But then it's just kind of like,
Yeah,
okay, well, now here he is. It's been 3 years.
right, right.
And they kind of do the same thing with Yamcha, Tien, and Krillin, where it's like they
Yeah,
show them going to try to find Korrin's tower and the stuff that the one thing they find along the way, and then they show up later and they're like, Hey, so we did that. Yeah, we climbed the tower and then we just trained and went our own ways for 3 years. It's like, okay,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
like that's cool, But that's again, like, what do you show? Do you show all of it? Do you show?
Right.
I think, I think if you show Goku getting to meet Kami and Popo and start his training, you do like 2 episodes of that, and then you do changes. You don't show anything
Right.
else because it's like you either don't show enough or you show too much of him training, which you kind of feel
Right.
like you get.
What you do. Yeah, they totally do.
Yeah, I
And the
agree.
thing that doesn't feel the reason it doesn't feel rewarding is because like literally every episode when he's with Popo is like the thing I was saying to you a while ago.
Uh-huh.
It's like, hey, be calm, be smart, be collective, don't do this. And he's like, you got it. And he fails at it during like the early part of the episode, and then Popo repeats himself, and then Goku's like, okay, and he fails again, and Popo repeats himself, and then Goku does it, and then he succeeds, and it's like, wow, he did it. And then at the very
Yeah,
end of the episode, he fails again, and
yeah.
Popo's like, see, you don't know everything. And then the next episode happens, and you're just
It's the
like,
same. Yeah, it's kind of the
and it's
same.
like same exact thing.
And almost all of those episodes end with like Popo and Kami in the room watching him on the monitors, and they're just like, I don't know.
Right.
I don't know if he's gonna be strong enough. It's just like, well, what are your other options?
So when the changes happen, you're like, I mean, you totally believe that like he has abilities, but like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I think I would have liked to have, I think I would have liked um like 2 more episodes and literally be like a year later and
Yeah.
then show him a little bit better and show those guys doing things
Yeah.
like and then be like another year later and then it's like they're doing more things and then when you see them the third year jump is changes is the
Yeah.
I feel like that's what the show needed more than
Yeah.
anything.
Yeah, I agree with that. How crazy is it though? Did you kind of forget by the time you watched the episode of the changes that that's legitimately the first time like they have seen Goku since he like brought back the dragon and wished back Krillin and Roshi? Like that's the
Yeah,
first time
like
they've
that
seen each other?
like from when he collected the the Dragon Balls, right? No.
Yeah.
Is that
No,
what he
he
does?
he went to Kami's
No.
tower and Popo rebuilds Shenron.
But he shows up briefly at the house.
What did he get? He had to go back to get his power pole. Tien saves his power pole from
Yes,
the
that's right.
battle, and
Yes.
Goku needs the power pole
To get
to
up
get
to
to the top of the Kami Tower, which is cool. Again, it's another one of these cool things that
yes.
like his grandfather gave him the power pole, and now you're seeing like it's got a bigger meaning to it than
Right.
than you never
Right.
knew about. Yeah,
Yeah.
but yeah, it's kind of I love that episode because it's like everybody's seeing each other for the first time in so
Oh
long.
yeah. That's great. No, Changes is a good
Yeah,
episode, yeah.
it's really, really good. But we'll get to it. So let's kind of just run through these.
Sure.
Anything that really stands out, just let me know. Um, yeah, so episode 1 is Lost and Found. Let me just kind of read this here. So yeah, Yajirobe takes Goku to Korn's tower to recover from his fight. Uh, Tell Korn about the death of the Eternal Dragon and find that Kami, the creator of the dragon and the Dragon Balls, lives high above Korn Tower, which is another one of those funny things where it's just like, oh yeah, yeah, I know all about that, but I didn't tell you about that before.
Yeah, right, right, right.
Yep. Um, yeah, so he can recreate the dragon, bring his friends back to life, but he has to have the power pole, so Goku lost the power pole during the fight with Piccolo,
Yep.
but Tien grabbed it. So, um, Then we see Piccolo Jr.'s egg floating down the river,
Yep.
and that old lady is like freaked out by an egg, even though they live in a area where like dinosaurs and eggs
Yeah.
and
I thought it was very like Superman-esque,
it was, yeah.
of
Yeah,
like old people finding.
this is like if you like evil Superman.
Well, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Is it
Just
this
thought it
episode or
was,
the next episode where he burns the house down? I think it's the next one.
yeah.
I forgot that we even see Piccolo like as a child. Like that was super funny to me. He's walking
Like
around
him
all
just,
like mad and stuff. It's like,
it is funny.
dude, it was really funny. Yeah.
But this
So that's
is where,
basically it. You get to see Corrin again, which is fun.
yeah,
Yajirobe must be super strong by now, right? He's climbed the tower like 5 times.
it's crazy at this point. Yeah. The two things that I thought was funny was just these really interesting things. So Corrin doesn't know about about the Eternal Dragon. He's
Yeah, right.
surprised by that, which was his whole thing is he knows everything, kind of a thing.
Yeah.
And then he reveals that everyone killed by Piccolo and his like egg brethren
Yeah.
like don't get to move on to wherever Goku's grandpa is, basically.
Oh. Oh yeah. Why was that? Do you remember?
It was something like I don't remember. No. It was like they just can't reach peace or something.
Huh. Yeah, I do. I kind of remember them touching on that like very briefly, and it was just like, okay.
So it's like
Yeah, it's like
Krillin
interesting.
and Chaozu and Roshi and then like bacteria like they end up showing them when he brings them back, like all these guys come back. And it's kind of like when Hulk re-snaps everybody back in the when we
Yeah,
watched what was it like WandaVision and like Hawkeye,
yeah.
like where people
They
get
just
like
kind of come back where they
reassembled.
were.
Yeah. But like their bodies though. Well, that's what's even more disturbing because like bacterium's in a dump, like where they put the
Well,
body and
that's where
one
he
of the
lives.
right, but one of the people comes out of the grave.
Oh yeah,
It's like where their bodies were laid.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
which is
That's
like
kind of
really disturbing.
yeah, yeah.
But I
I
mean,
mean, even Bora comes back out of the grave.
yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I mean it's all disturbing. It's just crazy to think like they show people in really interesting places and then they come back to life.
Yeah, it was
Um,
cool.
and then the other thing that was funny was he goes back to the battle thing and he shakes hand with King Fury or Furry or whatever
Oh
because
yeah,
they're all doing the press junket and then
that's right. That's
he's
right. I
like, "Hey,
forgot
I'm
about
just
that.
trying to look for my thing." And then he goes to Baba
Oh yeah, right.
and Baba's
And he,
like, "Well,
where's my
yeah, like."
power pole?
So he tells him, and he goes and finds out.
Do you think he had to fight in the tournament at Baba's, or do you think she just kind of tells him stuff now?
I think she just tells him.
She had no, didn't care about her brother being dead at all or anything?
I think I think she does it. I think she does it because there's a line where she says that he just saved the world from Piccolo.
Right, yeah. And she's like, yeah, your power pole's at the Kami house. And he's
Yeah,
like, oh, that's great. And he just takes off. But that's a cool detail that we see Tien like find it in the episode before this where he sees it like glinting
yes, yeah,
and he goes over and picks it up. I like that. I like that that's it's a key component too. I thought that's cool.
yeah, yeah. That's pretty much it. Like he launched, you was using it as a broom in the house, and then and
That's
then
right.
uh, and then
They do that really funny anime thing where he's like, "Oh yes, of course, your power pole. I put it right here against this wall, and it like zooms into the wall and it's empty. And it zooms into his face. Like, ah."
Yeah. Yes.
I love
Yeah, and then
that.
I
I
think at
love
the end,
that.
this is when Piccolo burns the house down. I think he burns it at the very end.
Jeez, yeah, he's a little destructive. He's just laughing.
Yeah.
Little green gremlin. It's pretty funny. All right, so episode 2 is Temple Above the Clouds. So this is Goku uses his power pole to get to the lookout. Meanwhile, reporters storm the Kame house looking for Goku. Also, Piccolo Jr. begins to understand his strength.
Yep.
So
So
Goku flies up to Kame Tower on his power pole, getting electrocuted the whole way up there.
the yeah, and Koran's like, it's fine. You'll be fine.
Yeah, no, I didn't tell him
Oh,
anything.
no.
And I like how yeah, Droby asked him something and Corin's like, "Oh yeah, he should be just about there." Yeah, it's cool.
But he gives him
So do
that
you
bell.
Oh yeah. Yeah, basically sharing like, you know, Kami approves or Corin approves of him being there.
Yeah.
Like he didn't just steal his way up there somehow, I guess. So
Yep.
do you remember the lookout tower from any episodes? Do you remember seeing it?
In Dragon Ball Z?
Yeah.
No.
No. Okay.
I loosely remember Koran's tower.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
So
no.
Kami's lookout. Kami is basically like it's like their version of like God, I think.
I kind of got the feeling that that's what.
He's kind of like he watches over the earth, but doesn't
Right.
really do anything about it. And the more you progress down the road, there's always like another being that's like, oh, he's in charge of watching after Kami. It just keeps like
Well, of
stacking.
course. Of course.
But for right now, it's Kami
Yeah.
and Popo. And they're like kind of like the keepers of the earth, essentially.
Yeah. I think they call them the Guardians or whatever. But yeah.
Guardians of forever.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's cool getting to see Kami's tower. I just was interested if you've seen it before. It's kind of a recurring like place.
Makes sense. No, but I don't remember it now.
Yeah. It's cool. One of the recurring like memes or jokes is that like it's a giant circle, but all of the tiles are square.
Oh. Okay. That's funny.
Yeah. But it's cool. It's a nice like tranquil place. It to me it is funny that it's like so high in the air, but yet there's like butterflies and stuff
Yes.
up there just floating around. It's like the oxygen
The
would be super, super low, wouldn't it, up there?
joke's on all of us. It's like the size of the Chrysler building or something.
Only like 400 feet
Yeah.
under. Yeah, I don't know. It's cool. A giant floating like palace in the sky is always a cool concept, you know?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And also that the power pole was like it was
An
more than just
elevator.
like it made sense why it was this like mythic special item kind of thing.
Yeah. It's it's funny because in Dragon Ball Z, when you see the tower, you always see the ladder on the
Oh,
bottom that goes up. And you're always
yeah.
like, that's really stupid. Why is there a ladder? And I like didn't remember that the power pole literally goes all the way like right perfectly to the bottom, and then you have to climb the
Yeah.
ladder up to the top. And I was like, they don't do that obviously in the future. They just like fly to the Kami Tower.
Why do it? Yeah, I would assume, yeah.
Yeah. So that's pretty funny. But it's cool. It's cool getting to see Kami's
Absolutely.
power. We don't see Kami yet, so I won't talk about
No,
Kami.
I don't know anything about who he is.
But we see
So,
Mr. Piccolo, or we see
Mr.
Mr.
Popo.
Popo. Everybody has a P name in the show. You ever notice that?
They do. Well, you
Kami,
have
there's
Kami, and then you have
Piccolo.
Kame House. And then you
Yeah, it's the Kami house, the Kamehameha.
have it's like all very.
Then
That's
there's
right.
Piccolo, Popo.
Yeah, Piccolo, Popo, Boopy, Bop, Boo.
Yeah.
I remember this is the episode where the reporters all barge in.
Yeah.
Oolong's like, "I'll be Goku."
Yeah. He got his little uh Ditto. Remember when Ditto turns into
Yes,
like Pokemon and doesn't get the
yes,
eyes right? Yeah.
yeah. And then
How
you just
about a
like,
kiss?
yeah, yep,
Yeah, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Then there's that scene with the people just having a nice little birthday party.
yeah. I don't, yeah,
What is up with that,
I
right?
don't
That's such a
know. I
weird.
don't know. It was so random.
I'm just glad they didn't kill anybody because normally they just like you just blow up the house.
He's like, "Hey, who's out there?" with his gun, and then,
Yeah. And then he goes in the back door and he's just like, I never had birthdays.
uh,
What is it? Does he destroy his plane, his airplane, and then run out the back door, basically?
he destroys like everything on the inside, and then he kills. I think he kills the dog.
What?
The
Does he
dog
kill the
like
dog?
I'm pretty sure the dog like attacks him and he kills the dog.
Oh, good. That's fun. Wow. Yeah,
I
that's
think
great.
so.
Hmm. It's one of those scenes too. It's like you know something bad's gonna happen because it lingers too long. The kid just being like,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
and the parents are like, look at him, like,
Yeah.
oh, this is the best.
Just outside.
He throws like the brick through the window.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Wow, yeah, that's pretty good. It says that this is the episode though where he starts to understand his strength, and I think that's what you're talking about. I think the dog goes to attack him, and he like puts his hand out, and it like blasts, and he's like, ah, oh.
I kind of remember. Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
really, it's really funny to me because we literally just talked about the second half of Mando, and
Okay.
that's like my favorite scene with Grogu, where he like goes to like do the robot, and the robot's head explodes, and
Oh
he's
yes.
like he's looking at his hand. This is the same thing. It's a short green guy with big ears. He uses his hands and he's like, oh. It
Oh.
was like, wow, everything
Dragon Ball
repeat.
did it first.
Everything repeats in history.
Isn't this
Yeah.
also the episode where Popo eats the Kamehameha wave?
Oh, yeah, I think so.
He's like, "Ooh, delicious."
Yeah, Popo, he's pretty strong. Of course, you're thinking like, hey, why didn't you guys just fight Piccolo? And it's like, oh, no,
No.
no. Humans have to do that stuff. It's just like, all right, cool.
Yeah.
Thanks for training anybody to be able to, Roshi and his old master, they never got trained to take on Piccolo, so that's nice.
Yeah.
All right, so episode 3 is Earth's Guardian emerges.
Bum, 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 bum,
Goku
bum.
Goku cannot defeat Popo, so he decides to stay at the lookout and train until he can. Also, he meets Kami. Meanwhile, Tien begins his training for the next World Martial Arts Tournament.
That's right.
Yeah. So this is the episode where we get to see Kami.
Yes.
Now, do you remember Kami? You don't know anything about Kami?
No.
No. Okay. So were you as surprised as Goku when you were like, oh, he looks like Piccolo?
No.
No, because they keep setting it up like, who will this Kami be and why will he look so familiar?
So the thing that always sucks, and I try not to, is when Popo, somebody said something like Corin or Popo said something. I think it was
Mhm.
Corin. And he says that, I think it was Sandy Yajirobe. He was like,
Goku's gonna be pretty surprised when he sees
right.
it.
And I was like, okay, so it's likely going to be somebody that Goku knows.
Yeah.
And I
Right.
thought it was going to be his grandpa, what I first thought,
Oh, that's a cool.
right? And I was like, okay, this is going to make sense. And then all that happened was Crunchyroll spoiled it by
The
having
next picture
it
is
was like it
Kami's
wasn't this one, it was like one or two below it, and it was like here's like an old Piccolo looking guy, and I was
with his
just like,
stick, with his
yeah,
cane.
and I was just like, okay. So
Yeah, they get you.
I try not to look at anything, but it's just, it's hard to not when it's just a green thing on the
Yeah.
app. You're like, okay.
But
So
what
when
does
I'm
it all
watching the episode,
mean?
I'm like,
What does it
it's
all mean?
probably Piccolo, and that's what the issue is. Just basically, whatever,
Yeah.
whatever mumbo jumbo he came up with that he dispelled the evil part of him into the world, and I was just like,
Right. So this is the episode where it kind of talks about that, right?
yeah,
He wanted to be, Kami wanted to be in charge of the lookout.
right.
So he like meditated and like you said, he got rid of his like
He
pride
went to he
and
would yeah,
evil.
he went to go like fight the other guardian of the earth.
Yeah.
And basically he was too weak, and so in order to um he just, like you said, he casts the evil from him, and then he becomes the guardian.
I think he trained with the other guardian for a while, then he died.
Something like that, yeah.
And then he took over. So yeah, that's interesting, right? So that's interesting that Kami and Piccolo are basically the same entity.
It's just it
It's
was weird. I just didn't.
it's interesting that Piccolo can reproduce.
Right.
And I'm sure Kami can too, but it's just as funny. It's just kind of this weird thing.
I just was like they didn't give a lot of context. It was literally like he shows them, and then he's like, yeah, and then this like black misty thing goes away, and he's like, and
Yeah.
therefore I got rid of it. And then Piccolo came, and I'm like, how did that misty thing turn into a copy of you? And it's like, why can he barf up eggs? But when he barfs up eggs, they can be anything, but also himself. It's like there was no
I,
explanation
th
for it,
yeah, right.
and that was
I
like
th-
it
I
was very
think
confusing.
when he does eggs, um they're like entities or like not copies, but they're like workers of his, like children of his, essentially. I think
Yeah.
I think before he died from Goku, I think he put like all of his memories and abilities into the last egg. So it's kind of like a rebirth of himself.
Okay.
But also, if he can do that, why wouldn't he just do that and not go for the Dragon Balls
Right.
to gain immortality or youth or whatever?
Right. Right.
But also, can he only do that when he's younger? Maybe he can't do that when he's old. I don't know.
Maybe.
It's it's a little weird. It's a little weird.
Yeah. Yeah.
We
It
we get
is.
into it too. We get into a little bit of it too, where it's like so Kami is responsible for the for Shenron and the Dragon Balls.
Yes.
He created the Dragon Balls here on Earth and Shenron.
Yeah.
Um,
To give like people hope or something, right?
yes, yeah. And he was gonna take him away until, Goku kind of made him believe that there was still good in the world.
Right.
But also, I think they talk about it in one of these episodes. I think it's before Goku goes and fights. Because I think they know like they're gearing Goku up to like kill Piccolo Jr. at the tournament. but essentially,
Yeah.
since they're the same person, that would also kill Kami.
Yes, he does say
And
that.
it
Yes.
okay, and it's like not great because like Popo would have to be the guardian.
Right.
But I also think the Dragon Balls only exist with Kami. And there's a reason, but I'm not going to tell you because it gets into other stuff.
Okay.
So as of right now, we don't know anything about these people other than he's the guardian of
Not
the
real.
earth
Right.
and he's split off with his evil self and that's Piccolo.
Right.
Yeah.
And
Just
that
like just like we don't know that Goku is a Saiyan. We don't even talk about it.
no. Also, that Piccolo has the ability to vomit up an egg and make a clone of
Yeah.
himself.
Yeah, we that's fine. That's have you ever heard the tale of Doc Piccolo the Wise?
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Uh that description also said that Tien begins his training, but I don't really remember. Isn't he
It
just on
kind of
the
does.
beach, just punching stones on the beach, basically?
I think it's
Or is
when
that
like
later?
everybody's inside and they're all talking about everything and like he's out like where he's like working out or whatever. And like nobody else is working out with him. Like
He's like,
Yamcha
Goku
is
is
like,
not gonna get the best of me again. It's like, dude, you won the last one.
right.
Yeah. Yeah, I just don't remember his like workout. I kind of remember them all kind of in the ocean lifting
That was
boulders
after
and stuff. Yeah.
bring back from the Dragon Ball,
Okay,
but
right, because Chris Krillan was there. Yeah. Um. Yeah. Okay. So it's this next one. I was gonna say, isn't that like when they're out on the Kami house and the balls start glowing again? Yeah, that's the next one.
yeah, yeah,
So episode 4 is the Eternal Dragon resurrected. So Kami resurrects the dragon. In return, Goku agrees to stay at the lookout and train for 3 years. Meanwhile, Bulma, Yamcha, and Tien see the Dragon Balls flashing and they call on the Eternal Dragon to make their wish. So this is a cool episode.
yeah,
This is kind of repairing everything that bad that happened finally,
right.
which is cool that because um, you didn't know anything about Kami or Shenron,
No,
so getting to see like Kami. Well, actually, Popo's the one that like re-glues the sculpture
he
back
puts them
together.
all together. Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool that he's in that little dome.
Yes.
Shenron's in that little dome.
Yeah.
And then when he's recreated, he like glows and then disappears out of the dome because he just is like a e- ethereal being at that point.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's cool.
Yep.
I like how the balls didn't disperse again. They just
Oh, right.
stayed where they were, which is nice.
Yep.
Yeah, so that is cool. That is cool. It's cool to picture like those guys like being like, I don't know, being sad that like their friends are gone. And then like all of a sudden the like stone like turns back into a Dragon Ball.
Right. Right. Especially after you knew that Goku was like that's what he was gonna go do.
Yeah. So once again, there's Goku out saving everything.
They're saying everybody, yeah,
And they talk to Shenron like way more in this episode than you've ever got.
way more, way
It's
more.
really
He
cool that he
he gives like
answers
a really
questions.
big he gives like a really big like long discussion to them.
Yeah, it's cool. That's cool. They're like, "Hey, where's Goku? Can you bring him here?" And he's like, "No, Goku has to train for 3 years."
Yeah.
Pretty, pretty great. But yeah, and then Krillin and they wish for they wish for everybody that died from Piccolo to come back.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's cool.
They're like, you don't have to wait. And I like how somebody always there's always one character that always remembers that Chaozu is also dead. I think
And
it was
Childs
Goku. I think it was Goku. Because
like,
everybody's like, Master Roshi and Krillin are dead. And I'm like, and Chaozu. And Chaozu, like also Tien's friend, like also him. Yeah, it's really funny.
That's funny that you remember because you didn't you're not a fan of Chaozu's, but
I
even you
don't,
remember.
I like him now, but and he
Yeah.
was terrible in that tournament.
Well, yeah. That's just funny. It's just that's what this show does. You have these characters, you're like, ah, oh, yeah. And then
Yeah.
like a year later, you're like, I can't believe they're dead. Why? That's pretty great. Yeah, they come back in their little coffins. They're all like in their suits holding their flowers.
Oh yeah.
Master Roshi's like immediately just the same as ever, you know?
Yep.
But I like that. I like that they used the wish to wish back everybody that was affected by Piccolo, not just like, you know, selfish wish. I think it's
Right. Like,
Yamcha. I think it's Yamcha too. Isn't he the one that says, "Hey, we should can you bring back all of the people that were?"
yes, yes.
And Shenron just stares at you for like a minute. He's like, "Yes, yes, I can do it. I can do that." It's like he's searching.
If you really want me to.
State your wish.
I want all of them. I want everyone
Ah.
who's ever died to come back. And he's like, oh no.
Your wish cannot be granted. Yep. Yep. So that's pretty much this episode. I don't remember. I think Goku probably trains up there too or something, but I don't remember.
Yeah, basically the fishermen see Piccolo blasting fish in the sea for whatever reason. Remember that?
He's leveling up.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's that? Like, oh my
Oh my,
God.
yeah.
Jeez. I forgot about that. That's so
Kami admits um that if he was to kill Piccolo, it would mean killing himself. So he
okay.
can't.
So he
He
does talk
can't.
about it in this. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Popo's like, well, what are you going to do? He's like, well,
Right.
you're going to have to take over, Popo. Oh, Kami. Ah. Yeah.
And then yeah, then Shenron comes back and
Yeah. What do you think about like Popo as a character? Like this is your first time kind of seeing him. He's like the all wise like trainer guy, you know.
Kami?
No, Popo.
Oh, Popo.
The Popo.
He's I don't know. He's like he's fine in one degree because he's comes across as the like wise and smart guy. Like he knows everything. But he also kind of comes across like he doesn't like flat. He's just very flat.
Yeah. Yeah, he's very kind of like subdued.
At
But
least like
he's
the other
that's kind of
masters,
how he that's why he is like so strong. It's just because he's just cool as a river, you know. He's
right? Just funny because the other masters that they show have like a lot of personality, and like he
Mhm.
specifically doesn't.
I think Goku makes him laugh a couple times, which is cool.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
I
He's just
think
I don't know. He's hard to read.
he is, yeah. He's a cool addition. It's cool to see him. It's just basically you get two new characters.
Yeah,
Popo and Kami are kind of like two brand new characters.
yeah.
Okay, so five is quicker than lightning. This is Mr. Popo attempts to teach Goku to relax his mind, to sharpen his senses. Goku trains blindfolded.
Yeah,
Who goes to Mount Rumble to fetch the sacred crown.
yeah.
Meanwhile, Tien, Yamcha, and Krillin continue to train for the next World Martial Arts Tournament. Yeah. So, yeah, I don't care about this episode.
It's weird.
It is weird.
It's like the girl with the bird, right?
Yes.
Yes, okay.
Yes. Yeah. I can hear him.
Right, right. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, yeah, so it's like for him to fetch the crown off the mountain, he has to like predict where the lightning will strike, and he can't. And then, like you said, at the end of the episode, he finally does twice, and then he gets blasted anyway.
Right. And I
It's
was
like
just
he
like,
just still doesn't really.
oh. And when that happened, I was like, oh, okay, that's funny. And then the next episode happens.
Yeah.
It's like the same thing. And I was like, uh-oh. Oh no.
And then he like wakes up and Popo's like, "Oh yeah, we got you after you got struck by lightning. But today you're going to be doing something different." It's just like so every day they're doing something different. It's like how is he supposed to?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. But yeah, the Goku and Popo run around with blindfolds on for the beginning of this whole episode. Is this the one where Popo kind of like tells him like you should be able to sense someone's like spirit energy? Is that what he calls it?
I think so, yeah.
It was like you should be able to like kind of
His
sense where
aura
like a
or whatever.
living person like being is, yeah.
Yeah.
Which is a very key. That's a very key thing to have moving forward. But it's cool. This is kind of like the first time they really talk about more than just like using energy blasts and fighting styles. It's like actually being able to like sense your opponent's like physical
Yeah.
energy.
Like their movements before or
Yeah,
whatever.
and that's cool. That's a very classic, martial art thing, like
Yeah.
it's cool. Bum, ba, ba. It's on episode 6, The Secret of the Woods.
Yeah. Definitely the secrets of the woods.
Yeah, secrets. After recovering from being struck by lightning, Goku is sent to the woods to train. While there, he meets a family and stays with them. He learns from the grandfather, a fighter named Yo Chun, and he heads to the mountains to fight him. Meanwhile, Tien, Yamcha, and Krillin continue their training.
Yeah.
Yeah, this
So
episode is just
so
it's like
is the dad the animal or the food?
oh my God.
Because the dad's name was Moose. But then everybody else in the room is a food item. So I
Well, you
wasn't sure if he
you eat
was
moose.
also a food. Right, you
Yeah.
can eat moose.
What was oh
Not
yeah,
like
he
the
had like
animal moose, like the
oh yes. You're right because they were all desserts.
right. So I
You're absolutely right. It's
because
mousse
at
as in
first
chocolate mousse.
the wife's name is a food, and I was like, okay. And then he introduces his kids, and like one of the girls' names was like pudding or something,
Oh yes. Yes.
and
Okay,
I
hold
was
on.
like,
I wanted to remember this.
and I thought the boys were going to be animals and the girls were going to be like desserts, but then all of the kids were desserts. So I was like, is the dad the animal name or is he the food name?
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
All I remember is one of the kids was name was pudding and crepe. That's all I remember.
Pudding and crepe, yeah. So mousse is spelled Mousse.
Okay,
So
so
his,
the
ab-
food.
his
Okay.
wife is Eclair.
Yeah. Oh, yes. Yes. Okay. Yes.
They're 9 kids: cupcake, pudding, donut, jelly, jam, cream puff, cocoa, cookie, and crepe. And their grandfather, Corintino.
Yeah. And then he doesn't have a
It's
food name.
it's probably a it's probably a Japanese
Corinto or something like that. Yeah. All I knew
yeah,
is that
Corinthian.
I was just like, what? Like his name was Moose. I was thinking it was the animal. I'm like, yeah, guys are called. I've heard guys be called Moose, like as a nickname. Like whatever. Her name being Eclair is like it's close enough to Claire. It's
Yeah.
fine. And then they're like, here's our kids, cupcake, and I'm like, and it was like
What?
pudding, and I was like, no, no, no. No, nobody's calling their kid pudding. Donuts. No.
Yeah. Donut, jelly, and jam. They're
No.
twins. Jelly and jam
No.
are twins. Cream puff.
No.
Cocoa. Cocoa cookie and crepe.
No. No. No.
They all sleep on the floor. It's pretty great.
Yeah, and then they get like that kid kind of gets mad at Goku and then just goes back to sleep.
Oh, because he's snoring.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like too how he's like, oh yeah, I was sent here by Mr. Popo. And they're like, that's a ridiculous name.
Right. Yeah, yes, yes. Um, yeah, and then it was super fun that he goes to fight the mountain man. The mountain man's there.
Yeah.
He punches him once, he falls down, and he's like, "Oh, you're not the guy." He's like, "No, I guess not." And then he goes and fishes with the grandfather character,
Hmm.
and then uh doesn't he just like disappear? Like
I
he
don't
was
remember how
never
that
there with
episode.
he's like doesn't he just literally just not he's just not on the riverbank after Goku catches the fish
Maybe.
and he's just gone and it's just like you did it. I was just like, what?
The secret of the woods is to be calm and learn how to fish. You have to be one
Yeah.
with the river, Will. You have to be one with the river.
But the thing I thought was really cool, and I wanted to remember this, if this is the right episode, which I think it is, that the room that Popo take Goku into, it was very reminiscent of the holodeck on Star Trek. He takes him into that room,
Yeah,
and then
it's
he's
all
like,
grid.
papu, 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 pap, and it's like, yeah. I was just
Turns
like,
into
oh,
like the laser show. Yeah.
yeah. He's like, this is the forest, blah, 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 all that stuff. And then,
Yeah. I think this is a different machine. Yeah. I think the one I'm talking about is in Quicker Than Lightning. He takes me to that room and it's like all the light flashes. Beam. Or
oh,
maybe it's the same. Maybe it's the same one.
I don't know. I
This
just
one
remember,
brings up like a portal, like a wood portal type thing, and it like turns the whole room into the woods, like you said, like the
yeah,
holodeck.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. In the episode Quicker Than Lightning, he stands on that thing and like the machine that he Popo's on comes out. It's got all these arms and it shoots like are these RGB lights and they're like shoo, 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 and it just like teleports him.
Yeah.
And then this one is like the holodeck where the whole room turns into the woods and then Popo's gone. It's just like they have a lot of technology up here for
Yeah.
for for who knows. So even more so, like they could beam down and fight like Piccolo wherever he is on Earth. Doesn't matter where he is on Earth,
Yeah.
but they won't.
What?
Um.
Now, here's my question to you.
Yeah,
Are they are they like are those kids ever going to show up again?
I couldn't tell you.
You know what I
I
mean?
I highly doubt it. I highly doubt it. It's one of those one-offs things. Were they even really there to begin with? Well, that's what you need to.
Okay.
Maybe they
Okay.
were the secret of the woods, you know? Yeah, no,
Maybe.
I honestly couldn't tell you. The thing with like the rooms that they use on the lookout is like I don't know, who even knows when and where this even is. Because
Yeah.
like we'll see in the next episode, episode 7, the time room. This is the one where Goku travels back in time to train with Master Moayu.
Oh no,
I know his name. Okay,
don't do it because you're ruining it for me every time I want to say it. Uh
Mo Mutaito. Mutaito.
yes.
Master Mutaito.
Yes.
And he learns about spirit energy. While there, he meets a young Roshi and runs afoul of Shen. Meanwhile, Tien, Yamcha Krillin, and Chaozu decide to climb Korin Tower. Wow, they changed it.
Well, yeah, because last episode that was them swimming in the water, and now they're going to the tower.
Now they're trying to find the tower. They don't even know where it is, but they know it's west, so they're just gonna run west. So are you not a fan of this episode?
It's a thing where I have a hard time with it. Not because of how he behaves. He's terrible in general, but
Well, at least you know he was always like that.
true. The thing that I don't really like is that Roshi and Shen met Goku and he was like he impressed them and then they don't remember him like in the future.
Yeah. So yeah. So again, like I just said, like I question um whether any of this stuff is real.
I see.
Like I mean, it could be a time variant type thing where it sends him to the past, but then, that past is different than the future. It could be just a simulation. It could be, I mean, who knows? Popo could
It's
like once Goku leaves, Popo could like wipe their memory or just go back and just erase like that part of time.
true.
I don't know.
It also just feels like when um it also just felt weird that Shen was like kind of evil, but yet he worked with Roshi and Mutai to like trap Piccolo.
Yeah, right. So in that timeline when they fight Piccolo, they're still like his pupils. They're still Motoito's pupils.
Okay, so they're
And it's
not.
like and it's implied that like after that, after Moito dies, Shen kind of goes off to start his own thing and Roshi doesn't. But
Yeah,
this shows like Shen was always kind of a douche. Like,
yeah, and
it
that's
wasn't just like he kind of became power hungry and corrupt after Moito died. Yeah.
right. It's like yeah, it's like they basically say that he became evil after he died, and it's like, but he's already terrible now. And also, they were
Yeah.
like bald, and all that stuff.
It's
So
weird. Yeah, it's weird. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, he's trying to kill Goku because he's jealous that Goku's going to talk to that adult woman. So it's like,
yeah, yeah.
yeah, he's not a great person.
It also was, I remember too, that like it was a big thing why he couldn't ride in the Nimbus cloud was the fact that like he's dirty old man, and then it's like, but now he's a dirty like young person
Yeah.
too. It's like, okay, so he's never been pure of heart kind of thing. So it's like, I don't know. Just weird.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting to know if this is even real. Like if this is not just like a simulation or a, thing. Because like you said, it doesn't seem like that's how Shen would have been back then.
I also feel like the scene where Roshi's talking to Goku and when he's talking to him about seeing Fan Fan
Oh yeah, I forgot her name.
and he says something to him, which they obviously dubbed over in English, and then Goku takes his shirt off, and then he's like, "No!" And he gets mad. I'm like, "Yeah, those I know that didn't match up in the Japanese translation. Like He's saying something different, and they're making the lines make sense in English for younger
Yeah.
viewers.
Yeah, that's pretty great. Good old fan. Mm. It's almost like kind of like we were saying. It's almost kind of like this thing is designed like this machine was designed to bring back people that Goku knows, so that Moe can like teach him how to control his like spirit energy to like part the water. Remember he parts the waterfall.
Yes.
That's like the what the whole episode is about is
Yeah.
him learning how to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he doesn't use any of these things in the training.
Mm-mm. No, he doesn't figure them out. But they're in here. He's got them in here. All right, so next episode is your favorite
Yeah.
episode, episode 8,
Oh,
Goku's doll.
yep.
Goku fights a doppelganger created by Mr. Popo. Meanwhile, Tien,
Yeah.
Yamcha, Krillin, and Chaozu continue on their journey to Quarren Tower.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
this is not a great episode.
No.
It's got a pretty high rating, which is interesting.
Yeah, because everybody likes Shadow Link and all, and Mirror Spock. They all like all that stuff, right?
I think the concept of this episode is fine. It's just kind of like, yeah, like you said, like it ends with like, oh wow, Goku's finally mastered. He's just like, oh no, the doll has lived out its natural progression. It's like,
Yes.
oh, so he didn't learn anything, basically.
No. Yep.
He
Super
fights this
fun.
thing for like a day and a half and then just outlives it.
I did like that when the Met doll got unmasked, it was just that terrible face,
Yeah, that's
emotionless
pretty.
face. That was pretty funny.
Yeah, that's pretty great. It's basically Goku fights Taskmaster. That's what this episode is.
Right, exactly. But at this point, I was like, when the doll, when he was like, oh no, the doll ran out of energy, I was like, okay, okay. I was
We'll
like,
try. We'll try again tomorrow.
I've sat through Back in Time Roshi. I've sat through Donut House. I've sat through, the whatever the other one was.
Yeah.
Just like, what
Like
is going on?
what could possibly be worse than this? And then you find out. You find out. So episode 9 is walking their own ways. So Tien, Yamcha, Krillin, and Chaozu stumble upon a village that is worshiping a mountain spirit during a festival. And they take
Yep.
part in the festival. Meanwhile, Goku plays hide and seek with Mr. Popo to help him
This is
detect
when
and
he sees
control spirit energy. Yeah.
this is when he sees it, yes.
This is where he puts the bell on.
Yes. I I checked out like real hard because it was fine with the blindfold stuff. Like I was kind of okay with it. And it
Yeah.
was fine them helping the villagers. I was happy. It was fine. It was good. It was something.
Well, it's when you finally get to the village in the next episode, you're okay. But this episode is so weird with like when they're like, "Hey, I think I hear like screaming and drums," and even
Right.
Chaozu's like, "Oh my God, the things they're doing down there, they make my ears bleed." Like saying like they're doing like human sacrifices or something. And
Right.
then you
Right.
see them dancing. You see them like with the like
The
devil
mask.
masks on, dancing, and you're like, oh, what are they doing with this? And then they're just like, oh yeah, we're just totally normal people. Oh, okay.
Right. And it was fine. I was okay with it. I was hanging in there and it was like cool. And then Krillin headbutts the guy and it's like it's fine.
Oh, and Krillin gets
And
drunk too. Don't forget, Krillin gets drunk.
oh, he does get drunk, doesn't he?
They're like, yeah,
I
it's just
forgot
juice.
that I
It's just
forgot.
juice. It's just juice, and he like
But
drinks
I
it.
just
And he fights the guy in the pit drunk.
okay, so this is the one episode. Okay, so no, it's the next episode then. The next episode I checked out real hard. That's what it was. It wasn't this
Yeah.
episode. I thought this was the episode where they're actually going up the mountain, but they don't until the very end.
Yeah.
Right? Okay.
I think this is the one where they kind of join the festival, take part of the festival. The next one is they're saving the town from lava the entire
Yes.
episode for
Okay.
God knows what reason.
That is the episode I was like, okay.
That episode has the lowest star rating on this entire list.
It was incredibly painful to sit through. Like incredibly painful.
Yeah. Some of it's okay, but yeah, it's not great.
I don't mind it. Like I get what they're doing and it's fine. But literally, it's like blast. And they're like, we did it. And then lava. And he's like, oh no, blast. They're like, oh, we did it. Lava. And you're like, oh, okay, blast. We did it. Lava. And it just kept for 20 minutes. That's all that happened.
I know. And then that girl's like, dad's like, oh, you're destroying the village. You're not doing even helping. You're just running off. And then it was like, okay, but we need to get this old guy out of here. And he's like, oh, the mountain is very angry. That was the whole episode.
Yeah. And the only thing that good came out of it was we got to see Yamcha do the Kamehameha. I don't think we'd ever seen him do that. He didn't do Wolf Fang Fist. He didn't do that. He did.
Does he? He does the Kamehameha during the tournament last time.
Oh, does he? I just didn't remember.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. He does it first, and then Krillin's like, well, if Goku and
Oh,
Yamcha can do it, then I can try it. And he tries it for the first time during the tournament. Yeah. But this was a better because he says, oh, that wasn't enough. Like Goku would have blasted the mountain off. So he like really focuses
yeah.
and then blasts
Yeah.
that waterfall and creates obsidian.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure that's how that.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
I don't know why they didn't just try to like blast craters in the earth to like
Right.
move,
Also, what literally happened was they blew up the mountain next to the village, and the lava just like didn't go through the rocks. It just
Yeah, it was
like
really bad.
everything they did up on the mountain was meaningless.
No. Yeah,
It all came down to whoever I think Tien like shooting at this little like mound of rocks to the right of it, and
I think they all shoot it. But anyway, that's the next episode. That's the next. But yeah. So we like the one where they're at the festival and they fight the guy in the tournament thing, little thing. They eat all the food.
Yeah.
And then Popo and Goku play hide and go seek, and it's like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
More skills that like Goku doesn't have or master by the end of this episode.
Yeah.
Right. So then the next episode, Hotter Than Lava, is the one where they're stopping the lava.
Yeah.
It's this whole episode about them trying to save this stupid village.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think they save it at the end and everyone's happy. And that's it.
Yep.
Like you said, like they do all this stuff and it was like, oh, that didn't work. Well, let's try this. Oh, that didn't work.
And I get it. I get what the concept of the episode was supposed to be, but it just like it at that point, I think if I'll be perfectly honest with you, if it was like that was a two-part, like 2 episodes, and that was it, and we hadn't had all of the other stuff with Goku that really didn't amount to anything, and then it was like this. At least the other filler stuff that the list you gave me, it was like, well, don't play these episodes. Like half of this episodes that the list that you provided from some website was like, why would you omit these filler episodes? This explains why Goku gets this thing, or he's with this person, or blah, 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 whatever it is, especially early on. But like, this was the first time I was like, okay. Like,
yeah, these can all be cut.
I don't need to know any of this.
Does that list I gave you, does it cut out all of these like training episodes?
Mm-mm. Oh no, it's all here.
Oh, well, that's weird.
No, because like,
because like I said, I would do like up to Eternal Dragon Resurrected, and then skip everything until changes. That's how I would rewatch it. Like if I were to rewatch this,
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't care about Goku training on Kami
It
Tower.
doesn't
I don't.
it doesn't
Yeah.
lead to anything.
No. I mean it does, but like you can also just not show that and say like, wow, look at what these 3 years up there in Kami's Tower did.
Right.
Like I don't need, I don't need to
At
say it.
best, you would need at least the episode that says that the guys are going to Corrin's tower. That
Yes.
would be the
So
only right.
that's the thing about these two episodes, and I wish that's why they were better, because what these two episodes are is Tien, Yamcha, Krillin, and Chaozu are following Goku's footsteps.
Right.
This is like their origin Dragon Ball show. Like they're going
Right.
out and they're gonna go just run through the world and just help people and do what Goku did to get strong.
Right.
And it's like they find this one village, they save it from lava, and then now you just assume that's what they're doing. They're just out
Right.
doing this stuff every day.
Right. 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 Right.
That's the whole point of the episode.
Yeah.
Just it's just slow. It's just I don't know. You can have them like tell like they do like when they see Goku the next episode like, hey, we did that. We climbed Corrin's tower. We met Corrin. We went
Right.
over and we helped these people do this. It's like you just tell me. Just tell me what they did.
Right. 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 Exactly. It is what it is. It's like it just
Yeah.
it was the first time watching this that I was like, wow.
This is a slog. Yeah.
Yeah. Which
Yeah.
is which is okay because you if anything, I'd rather it be like, oh, there's only 20 episodes left, and it's now starting to be like the drag.
Yeah.
Like that is okay, rather than I'm 6 episodes in and it's awful. So I'd
Well,
rather it
that's
be
that's why like stopping here kind of like in the tournament is always good because those episodes are usually exciting.
right.
And like now, like if we would have ended on Hotter Than Lava, like
Oh,
would you have been excited to go watch the next episode next month?
well, probably because that was so terrible, but it would have been. But I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I know what you're saying. No, I get what you're saying.
Because right now going back in, we're starting back with the mysterious hero, and it's like middle of the tournament, Goku, Piccolo. It's like you got all the finalists
Right.
are in the tournament. It's
Yeah, we're in it. We're in
yeah,
it now. Yeah.
yeah. So yeah, so episode 11 is changes.
Yeah.
So it's been 3 years since Goku defeated King Piccolo. The next World Martial Art Tournament is time. They haven't seen each other in years, and all the characters meet and reminisce while signing in for the tournament,
Yeah, and
which is
then
pretty great.
it was pretty crazy to see like even Bulma had changed.
Yeah. I think Launch a little bit too. I just like how her and Roshi are like waiting out there in the rain. They're like, well, the boys should be here. Like, I hope they didn't forget. It's like how they start every tournament.
Right.
It's kind of cool too to see like Jackie Chun doesn't have to enter the tournament this year because he kind of fulfilled his obligation of like
Yeah, yeah, yes.
teaching them that like losing is, good, and now there actually are like stronger people for them to fight.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool. He's actually going to watch this time, which is nice.
I was a little surprised. Yeah, I was a little surprised that he didn't do it. The
Goku.
only thing I didn't like about this, I don't know. I don't know if it's like the dub ruined it
Hmm.
or the like writers or animators didn't think about it, but I really don't like the fact that Roshi goes up to the table to like the sign in thing and he's like, "Can I just do it for them?" And he's like, "Nope." And then they're
Yeah.
like, "Well, let's pretend we'll pretend like we're the guys." And they're all like debating over what to do. And then it's like, okay, it's closing in 5, 4, and it's like it is closed. And then the guys show up and they go over and they sign in. And I was like,
Yeah, you missed it though.
Like you missed it though. You missed it. Like they literally announced that the signing is closed, and then they're like,
Yeah,
"We're here," and they signed it, and they're fine. And I
but
was
they
like,
didn't. They didn't see him sign, so they must have already been on the list. That's how fast they signed. They
"Oh, is
signed
that
so
what it's?"
fast. Yeah, I think that's kind of what
Oh,
they're showing is like they signed so
okay.
quick that like as the guy was saying that it's closed, he looks down at the list and like their names are on the list.
Oh,
They're just too quick, you know.
I see.
Yeah. But here, yeah, I think that's kind of what you're led to. At least that's what I choose to believe. You know that they're showing. They all look cool. They all got their sun hats
Yeah,
and stuff on. That's what I choose. That's what I choose to think.
I'm okay with that to a degree. It just
Yeah,
was like it was just I just at first
it's
I
like
was like,
argue. It's like argue that we weren't here. Like our names are on the list, aren't they? Did you see us sign in?
right, yeah.
Yeah, we were here.
But it was cool to have them all show up, and except for Chaozu, like they were all different, so it was
Yeah.
cool.
And here's how you know things are indeed changed. Goku was the only punctual one.
Oh yeah, true,
Goku showed up on time.
true, true.
You know, remember
Yeah,
last
well,
time
yeah,
he was running in that loincloth that he made out of those tigers?
yeah. Well, basically, like what the guys do, like is what he did.
Yeah. No, no. Goku is he's different. He's punctual. He's an adult.
The thing that was
I
actually kind
like
of
that he doesn't realize that like he looks different, so he's like so confused. He's like, "What do you mean? Who am I?" He's like, "Oh, you can't see my hair," and it's like, "Oh yeah, obviously." Like once you see his hair, you're like, "Yep, that's Goku."
yeah. The thing that I actually really liked was when Krillin puts together that it's Goku, and then you realize the last time they saw each other
Yeah.
was when he ran
Oh man,
back to the tournament.
Goku was like holding his corpse in his hand.
That's when Goku last saw him, but like
Yeah.
Krillin last saw him in the restaurant. He runs
Yeah.
back to go get
He went
something,
back to
right?
get Goku's power pole in the Dragon Ball.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
I know. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah. And he was like so happy to see him and like so thankful that
Yeah.
Goku like brought him back. That
Oh,
was
no, it's kind of it's yeah, I know. It's super great. He
yeah.
like hugs him and it's like Goku is like huge now, you know.
Yeah. And then it cuts to them in
But
the room and they're
that's
just
what's
sleeping.
yeah. But that's what's funny too though, right? Is that everyone's like blown away by Goku, like how big and like, you know, even Bulma's like blown away
Yeah.
by like how like handsome he is. And then
Yeah.
Krillin shows up and doesn't recognize that it's Goku and he's like, look, Master Roshi, look how much I've grown." And then Goku walks up and Goku's like here.
Yeah.
Ah,
Yeah, it was
that's funny.
funny.
Isn't that too like Krillin's talking to him in the hotel room and then he looks over and he's just passed out. It's just he's like already sleeping.
Yeah, he's already gone, yeah.
Uh, yeah, it's pretty good. It's a great episode getting to like see everybody again, you know. I like it.
And then
It's probably one of my favorite episodes.
yeah,
But
oh
yeah,
yeah.
so episode 12, is there anything else in that episode that I think that's kind of it?
Basically just Piccolo like destroying parts of the city for no reason. And then he shows up at the end and
Well,
or
no,
like
he saves that kid.
does he save the kid?
Part of that building falls off and is going to land on that kid and Piccolo shoots it so it doesn't fall on the kid and
Oh, okay.
she's like
I thought
super
he
thankful
did
and he
it.
just walks away. No, he doesn't destroy the city. That's it's like a part of the roof crumbles off.
Okay.
And he blasts it to turn it into rubble so it doesn't kill that kid.
Okay.
And it's like weird. It's like
Super weird.
yeah.
And then I think at the end they see Piccolo at tournament. I think that's how the episode ends.
I think Goku sees him, yeah. And the only other person that knows it's Piccolo is Tien because Goku and Tien
Right.
are the only ones that fought him.
Right. Well, Chaozu should have known and Roshi should have known, but
Yes, but they're not in the tournament area yet.
I thought
Because
Chaozu
only
was.
Chaozu is Chaozu fighting? I don't
Yeah,
know. I don't
because
remember.
he's the one who fights Piccolo and goes on the stretcher.
Oh.
Because remember, like Bulma and all of them are standing outside, and then you watch Chaozu, he's on the stretcher, and they're like, "Oh my god!"
Oh my God. Yeah, okay. Okay. All right. And Chaozu was there. Yeah, obviously Chaozu was killed by
He was
King
killed by Sorry,
Piccolo.
he was killed by Tao. He wasn't killed by Piccolo. He was killed by Tao,
Oh, 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 oh,
or
oh.
defeated, or I don't think he's dead. I think he just was. I hope he's not dead.
Yeah, but you're right. Did he see Piccolo? Did he recognize
I'm pretty sure
Piccolo?
he's all standing there with them. They only focus on Tien and Goku, and I was like, other people know what he looks like. The other parts of the gang, but that's okay. Not a big deal.
Yeah, because Goku and Tien literally say like, hey, don't talk to anybody about this. Like, don't.
Right. It's just a thing the show likes to forget about Chaozu. That's okay.
Hmm.
It's not-
That's funny. Yeah, I forgot that he would have known. Hmm. Yeah, so then episode 12 is preliminary peril. I think there's a ton of episodes in Dragon Ball that start with preliminary because it's like the
Perfect.
preliminary round and it's like there's at least three of them. Um,
Makes sense.
yes. So the tournament begins, and then notably Goku fights in rematches with King Chappa, and
Yeah.
Chaozu faces a familiar foe.
Yeah.
Ooh, guess who's back? You already said it.
Mercenary Tao.
Scenario Town. You never thought you'd see him again, did you?
I didn't. And I certainly didn't think I'd see him back as a robot thing.
Robot. Yeah, he's a cyborg now.
It's weird. I'm just gonna say
hmm
it.
hmm So I knew, obviously, because I'm
Yeah.
amazing. I knew. I remembered that Tao comes back as a cyborg, that he was basically rebuilt by, you know,
By
not the red ribbon, but yeah,
no, his brother, right?
yeah, yeah. So I knew he came
Shen.
back. Shen, yeah, Crane,
Yeah.
Master Crane. So I knew he was coming back. Um, and yeah, doesn't last super long, which is good. At least he's not
So
like a main foe.
no. The funny thing that I laughed about in this was because I know Dragon Ball Z. It was like, here comes that girl, and I was like, oh, hey, wow, it's Chi Chi, because I knew her from Dragon Ball Z, because this is
Yeah,
generally how she looks like in the show.
same dress, same. Yeah,
And I was like, cool. And then it's like, you don't know who I am, and I was like,
I know who
oh,
you are.
also know who this is. I was like, I know who this is.
It's Snow.
Yeah, right, right. It was like, oh, okay. Thought it was funny.
I really enjoyed that whole thing, like how Goku has no
No
recollection
idea.
of, no idea. And
Even
then
up until the last episode
even
that we watch, he still barely has any idea what's
what?
going on.
I thought marriage was some kind of food. Um, Even to the point too, dude, where she says, "Look, we're not there yet," but she says to, she's like, "Oh, Yamcha, I know you're very like smitten with me, but my heart belongs to Goku." And you're like, "What?" And then you kind of remember back to when he was like trying to
Yes.
get information from her and when she was a
Yes.
child. It was like, "Oh,
It's
this is
bad.
so, it's real
It's
bad,
bad.
it's
It's
real
really
bad."
bad.
And then he like knocks her out too. Remember, he like
Yes.
punches. Dude. I wish she
Yeah.
would have shown up to the tournament though with her helmet.
Me too.
Yeah.
But you can't use weapons.
No, I can't. What is this?
You do burgers and fries and a Coke.
I already spent $40 on dinner.
Yeah, it was only $20.
Okay. Okay, yes. So, yeah, so I really miss, well, let me rephrase this. I don't miss Chi-Chi's old costume because it's like very
Right.
revealing for being a child.
Right.
So I enjoy her costume in this much more, but I do wish she had the helmet
Yes.
because I really enjoy that helmet,
Yes. But as we learned from Mercenary Tao, you can't have weapons.
Well, that's true. Yeah.
Because her helmet thing is like a blade launcher.
Oh, it absolutely is. Yeah, it is. Yeah. So anyway, so Goku fights King Chopper, which is cool. They have a rematch. He still gets
I mean, he barely has a
mopped.
match with him, but yeah, yeah.
Yeah. He lasts even less time this time than when he was a child. So
Yeah.
that's pretty great. Okay, so then episode 13 is Battle of Eight. The preliminaries of the World Martial Art Tournaments conclude. Who is this mysterious luchador? Will?
I had no idea.
I gotta get something to eat.
Oh God, am I hungry? I was like, oh, I couldn't begin to guess who this is.
Who could that be? He loses in such a crappy way too.
He really does.
It's like I would have liked to seen him go further. Uh, it's kind of a bummer because it's cool that he's in the tournament. It's cool that he's
Yeah,
there, but like nobody knows he's there. So it's like,
right. They mention him. Remember, they're like, it's weird that Yajirobe
yeah,
wasn't here.
like I told him all about it. He sounded kind of interested. He wouldn't want to come to this.
Then he's like, bitches. Okay, so you leaned away. Tell me right now,
Yeah,
is that guy gonna be somebody in your
who's that?
background?
You know what? So off the top of my head, I know he's something important. Couldn't tell you who it is.
Because
Oh, I
yeah,
don't. He's too much to not be a
right,
huge threat, right?
right.
Yeah.
I thought he was Roshi, like doing another
He
thing,
ow.
but I
He
was
looks
like,
familiar.
has
It's
he forgotten? Like, can he take off his mustache? I'm like,
it's
no.
it's Bulma's dad.
I think
Doesn't he look like Bulma's dad?
he does. The only thing I'm suspicious of
Yeah.
is that he's the crane guy, but his hair doesn't match up.
But we've seen the crane guy.
Right. But I think that was like why the bathroom thing was the way it was.
Oh, wait, hold on. When he's like running out, like zipping his
Yeah.
zipper up. I'm like, hey man, you
Yeah.
can't be in here. You can't be in here. Yeah, you don't understand. I'm trying to fight. I'm trying to fight.
Yeah.
Yeah, who could he
Maybe
be?
he's nobody. Maybe that's the thing, but
He's definitely somebody, but I don't know. Like I
okay.
legitimately don't remember.
Because I thought maybe he was like doing basically what's his name? Roshi is doing
Yeah.
he's doing what Roshi did, right? He's being a fake guy.
But he's doing the opposite, where he's being unassuming. Yeah, it's funny.
We'll see.
We will see. I really honestly don't know off the top of my head. I do know it's important because he's here. He's here all the way to the end.
Makes sense. I mean, it's fine. It's just really funny. But it's funny that we get this is where we see them have the sensu beans.
Sensu beans. Yeah.
Like we also went up there.
Mm, that's right. Because this episode ends where they're like, "Hey, we want to get something to eat," and Goku's like, "No, I'm good." And you're like, "What?"
Right.
And he's like, "No, I gotta show you these guys these sensu beans." So they last for like 4 days, and they're like, "Oh, we
Yeah.
have sensu beans."
Look at this.
Isn't that when they say that they met Yajirobe up there too?
Yeah, right. Yes. Yeah.
So that's cool that they would have climbed Corrin's tower, met Yajirobe, and Yajirobe would have told them all about like Goku and
Right.
like knowing he's above them.
Right. Right.
See,
Right.
I would have rather seen that than the lava episode,
Yeah.
but that's just me.
Would have been nice. Would have been nice.
Does Wolfman fight in the preliminaries? Do you remember seeing him?
No,
Man Wolf.
I don't think so.
Now, is there not a stretch in this where it's like kind of a throwaway line where it's like, oh yeah, we fixed the moon.
He says they asked him where his tail is, and he said he gave it up so that the moon could come back.
That's what it is. That's a really weird like catch 22. But so here's what it is. Toriyama was sick of drawing Goku with a tail.
Okay, which makes
So
sense.
he made up a thing to have Goku get rid of his tail.
Okay.
But then he went on to write the Saiyan saga where everybody has tails. And like I told you before, that was the other thing where when he made the Saiyan, he made like their hair blonde, so he didn't have to fill in black
Yeah.
ink for all their hair and stuff. Yeah. So yeah, he was sick of drawing Goku's tail, so he just was like, yeah, Goku gave up his tail so the moon could still be around. Yeah.
Makes sense.
Now there's been 4 years and everybody's been like building out like on the tide. Since there's
It's awful. It's been awful with us.
Can you imagine that though? Like the moon
No,
just peers back up and it's just like all these tsunami waves come back in, all the water comes back.
it would be horrendous. I mean, even
Oh my
moon
god.
going away would be terrible too.
Oh yeah, it'd be horrible. It would be great. Yep. So I hope we get to see Yajirobe. I hope he kind of like hangs out during the tournament. Because last
I
time we
feel
seen him,
like
he's
he
like in a
will.
bush.
I feel like he will.
He was embarrassed. He wanted to just leave.
Oh, I'm so sad.
Yeah, so episode 14 is Tien versus Mercenary Tao.
And it was
This
an
is cool.
interesting
This is a
episode.
good episode.
Yeah, it was interesting because like he easily defeats Mercenary despite getting sliced in the chest,
Mm-hmm.
and then he's like, "No, I'm not going to kill him. You deal with him," and then he flies away. Shen and Tao with
Mm-hmm.
flies away. Yeah. So no, is it this episode?
Hmm.
They call. Remember one of the episodes, Krillin floats.
Oh yeah.
And early in the tournament when Tien and Chaozu were doing it, they called it sky dancing. But then when Krillin does it, they call it
Air walking or something.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I was like, interesting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's one of those things where I was like, I've been waiting for them to like learn that. And I was
Right.
wishing that like when those guys were all training together, they could like Tien could have like showed them how to do it.
Right.
But the Krillin uses this in the tournament to like not follow the ring. And it's like, oh wow, Krillin learned how to do that all by himself.
Right. Right.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, what do they call it? It's not sky dancing.
No, it wasn't sky dancing. It was something else. But yeah.
Bum 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 bum. Yeah, I'll never find it.
No, I can't imagine anybody refer to it. They're always refer to it to flight.
So okay, so the sky dancing is a technique unique to the crane school. Master Shen created it.
Okay. It's literally like it's literally like hovering technique or something like that.
Yeah. Oh, here's a spoiler.
Okay. Oh, you're not telling me.
Mm-mm. No, it's just like I've been waiting for like, all of these guys to like learn how to use flight, and it seems like in this tournament they're all just like, oh yeah, we can fly now.
Gotcha.
So yeah, they call it flight or because even like Poir and Chouts, well, obviously Chaozu is skydancing, but Poir flies.
Right.
Yeah, they call it flight.
But they literally when he does it, they're like, "Oh, he learned whatever." But they don't call it sky dancing. They call it like
I know.
the
Yeah, I know.
hovering technique or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I know. That's annoying that they call it. That's just a dubbing thing, I'm sure.
Probably. It's in the last episode we watched, right? It's in where
Yeah, Krillin shows everybody he can fly. Who does Krillin fight?
Piccolo.
Okay, right. And he loses, obviously, but not like super bad. I thought that was a good fight, though.
Yeah.
Krillin kind of had him on the ropes for a little bit.
Yep.
And you get to hear Piccolo talking for the first time.
Yes. Yes.
Hmm. But yeah, Tien and Mercenary Tao was cool because it's like he was his like
Hovering
trainer.
space trick. Hovering space trick.
Wow, that's very specific.
I just went to the episode and Roshi says, "Wow."
Hovering
Okay, sorry.
space.
That's what you were saying.
Mm. No, I'm just saying that Tien fighting like his old master essentially,
Oh yeah.
and like coming to grips with the fact that like these guys are not great.
Right, right. It was an
Like he
interesting
held
way.
them.
He like defeats him, and then he's just like away with him.
Yeah, because he held these guys in like such high regard.
Yeah,
Now like he's better than them, like
yeah.
physically and you know emotionally. He's like just
Right,
better.
right. Yeah.
Did you like how Mercenary Tao's hand comes off and he's got like the super Dodon beam?
Oh yes, yes.
Super Dodon ray.
And he
The kid's
just
like, bring it.
he just eats it apparently.
Yeah, he just bounces right off his pecs.
Yeah.
It's pretty great.
Yeah.
I like how
Yeah.
Goku's like super confident too. Watching, he's like, he doesn't stand a chance.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
It's pretty good.
It's good.
Like it. Yeah, so then we end on 15, the anonymous proposal. It says Goku fights the woman entered as anonymous in the second
Yeah.
quarterfinal match of the World Martial Arts Tournament. Also, the match between Piccolo Jr. and Krillin began. Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
the end of this episode is Krillin and
Piccolo.
Piccolo fighting. So we don't even know
No.
who wins
No.
that round. Okay.
No. No.
I was gonna say, like, I can't remember how that match went,
No, it doesn't. That just shows them fighting. Yeah.
but Krillin's like holding his own, and
He
then
does.
classic Dragon Ball. Oh, I wasn't even using a tenth of my power.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Like,
Yes.
yeah, that's literally every
Yep.
episode moving forward.
Yep. And then he'll defeat Krillin, and then he'll fight Tien. No, he'll fight Goku,
Mm-hmm.
and then he'll be like, "That wasn't even a fourth of my power." I already know. I forgot when it showed the people. I already knew who it was. It was going to be. Oh man, they said who it was going to be. Let me look it up. And I already
Oh,
like I knew what was going to be the stretch.
I just got another spoiler.
So
Oh,
I knew that they said who was going to be against who, and it was like Tien versus Tao and Goku versus Chi Chi.
mm-hmm. Yamcha versus Hero,
Yeah,
Piccolo versus Krillin.
bro. So I know that Piccolo's going to win, and I
Yeah, right.
figure Hero's going to win because he's the odd duck out, right? He's like the weird guy who's going to keep going forward. And I
But
knew
Goku and Tien have to have a rematch.
right, and so I knew that Tien and Mercenary Tien was gonna win, and I knew Goku was gonna win against Chi Chi. So then that leaves
Yeah.
Hero and Piccolo
Yep.
and Tien and Goku.
Yep.
And so I was like, yep. So Goku's gonna win against Tien. Piccolo's gonna win against Hero. It also allows Piccolo to possibly kill Hero instead of Yamcha.
Mm.
Possibly. And then it'll be Goku versus Piccolo.
The synopsis for episode 21 is that it says Goku finally explains to his friend the true identity of Piccolo Jr. It's like how
Oh,
did you not
impossible.
know?
Impossible. Yeah, pretty funny that they literally do that flashback, which doesn't say they flash back to Goku just being like, "Oh, so you are a girl," and then she's all mad, and then he's
Of
like,
that dude, don't even talk because they showed the scene. And I was just like, of all the scenes, of all
"Right,
the scenes with him and Chi Chi, that's the one. That's the one that you chose.
right," and then he's like, "Oh." And this is like she's like, "Remember when you proposed to me?" And then they cut back to that scene, and I was like, "But that's not what happened in that scene."
Eh, kind of.
Nah, not really. Not really.
It's so stupid.
Yeah. So,
I like how he doesn't punch her, but punches her, like with
yeah.
Air Force.
He's like,
And
"Are you ready?" She's like, "I'm always ready." And he's like, "Air punch." She's
she
like, "Oh."
blasted right into the wall too. Yeah.
Yeah. He's like, "I'm sorry that I did that to you. I didn't think you were going to fall into the wall. I thought you were just going to fall out of bounds." And she's like, "That's okay. I love you so much. Will you be my husband forever?" And he's like, "I don't know what that means."
And then even the end of the episode where she's like holding on to him, and he's like Chi-Chi.
Like, why are you holding on to me?
Oh, so stupid.
And then Yamcha has to defend to Bulma that he's not a pedophile.
Yes.
He's like, well, and I was like, dude, she was like 12. You're done. You're done, son. You're done.
Chris Hansen walks in.
Here we have Yamcha 69.
Yeah, I'm sure. Why don't you have a seat?
Yeah, here it
Why would
says,
a guy?
yeah. What are all these rice balls and sensu beans for?
I got the cello right here. You said to Chi-Chi, I love beautiful little girls. I don't remember what he said, but it was really bad.
It was rough.
Yep. So
Yeah.
Chi-Chi runs off to go get her dad, the Ox King, and to prepare the
The
wedding.
wedding. Yeah. And then Krillin and Piccolo fight. And
Yep.
Krillin actually gets a punch on him, which was cool. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then he's like he said, then he's like, oh,
Fool,
if
you
only knew.
fool. Wait till I take off my cape.
And I eat capes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But yeah, so that is it. That's where we left off.
That is where we left off
So,
for the end.
next time, obviously, you're gonna do your Dragon Ball questions. You
Yeah.
gotta do two because the Shenron's back. But I invented a new one. Or
Okay.
maybe I replaced one. And there's a scene in this first half that inspired me to make a new question, and that is like, I think I'm gonna do like one of the balls is gonna be like, what is the worst like filler?
Oh, okay.
And it could be an episode, it can be like a scene that moves the show on.
Okay.
And it was created in this section after the scene of that guy driving the car. And I don't even remember what episode it was.
Oh, when it like lingers on him driving? Yes. And
It's
then still driving and then still driving?
yeah.
Yes.
Is it when Goku was going back to get his power pole or something? But it was like
Something.
no. Tien, Yamcha, Chaozu, and Krillin run past his car on the highway. He's driving along the highway, and then Krillin's like right here in his driver's side, and he's like, "Huh?" And then Krillin's like, "Phew." He's like, "Wow." And then it's Tien and Yamcha on the other side, and they're like, and he's like, "Oh." And then like, phew, and they're gone, and they're like talking, like, "We got to keep going this way," and then they just like take off, and the guy's just like,
Well, yeah, don't they show him in front of his car? Like they make you think like he ran off, but then they're just in front of his car running. And he's like, "Oh my, oh," and then they all zoom off in a blink of light, and then it just is him going,
I think he's got like sunglasses, and his
yeah.
sunglasses are like off.
And
And I was
it's
just like,
doing it for another 10 seconds.
I
Yeah.
was like, holy frick is that? Is that like that is a like filler. Like that fills
Yeah.
time, pads out that episode like crazy.
Well, I feel like what also needs to happen at the end of this is I need to do what I do to you,
Hmm.
which is you present to me all of my Dragon Ball wishes,
Oh,
and I make the ultimate wish.
yeah, we'll do that. We'll do
You know
that
what I
because
mean?
yeah.
Because when you're
yeah.
like, who's your most favorite character? Whatever. Like, who's the
Of the
MVP?
entire series, of the entire
Right,
series.
right,
So
right.
you got 3 Dragon Ball questionnaires to do.
Yeah,
You skipped it last time
right. Because
because
he was
Shenron
gone.
was gone.
Yeah,
So now you got to do last times, this times, and
the series. Yeah.
yeah. Now we'll just do this time in the series.
I don't care about last time. That's fine. It's probably
No,
what's probably best to do is to do a filler of last time, and then at the end of next time have that be a part of it, and then do another like like basically make 3 separate videos. Like have
yeah,
me wish that's a short video, then have our rewatch of the final episodes with the wish at the end of it. That's the second episode, and then the third episode is my series wish.
I'll definitely do a series episode. And
Yeah.
your thoughts going into
DBZ, yeah.
DBZ.
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 Very good.
It's gonna be good. There's the season ends with a few episodes like past the tournament.
Yeah,
So
cool. I'm looking forward to it. I mean, this is it. So I'm looking forward to it. Not because it's over with. Like I just meant like next is Dragon Ball, and there's only like 16 episodes left of this after watching like 130 or 40 of them, whatever.
I know, it's crazy. It's crazy, dude.
It is crazy.
Yeah, so this is October, so November we'll cover this, and then December 1st, or not December 1st, but December 19th, we'll be talking
Right.
about the first season of Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah. Pretty crazy.
It is pretty crazy. It's gonna be great.
Bump. You'll have to send me like breakdowns of sagas for that too, because I don't know what the watching orders of that is.
I think we'll probably just do what we've been doing and just cram it all.
Oh, I know, but like that way I know, like if you're like, oh, it's the Orange Monkey saga, then I can say, oh, we're watching, there's 35
Mhm.
episodes in that saga, so then we watch, 17 of them, type of thing.
Yes. How did you know it was the Orange Monkey Saga?
Well, that's because the Green Monkey saga is before that.
Mm-hmm. You think you're so clever. do. What? Really? Like
I
what?
will poo-poo myself if oh, excuse me, I will popo myself if there is an Orange Monkey saga.
There's not.
Okay.
There's not. This can't be. This can't be right. This is kind of crazy to me.
What's that?
There's like um like compared to Dragon Ball,
Okay.
there's like not a ton of episodes per season.
Oh,
So the Saiyan Saga is 18 episodes.
I mean, some of them in the beginning were not. It wasn't until we got later here at the end that
Oh.
they were stretched out. When we first started, we were only doing like 8 or 9 episodes a stretch.
Yeah, I guess that's true. Huh. It feels like more, but
Like the
three.
first Emperor Pilaf saga was 13, so we
Okay.
did like literally like 7 episodes and then 6.
All right.
So,
Yeah. The other thing too is that we're watching Dragon Ball Z Kai, which
Okay.
is it's more faithful to the actual like manga.
okay.
So it cuts out a lot of filler episodes that like aired on TV. It's more faithful to just the storyline.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Um, I think this is kind of what like they switched over to. Like when I was a kid watching it, was like Kai. It was kind of like recut for to be more faithful.
Gotcha.
Because like when they when they turned it into a TV show, Toriyama kind of like drew and made more story to like fill time, like TV episodes and stuff.
Gotcha.
So this is shorter. Oh. Yeah, but the Frieza saga is 36 episodes, so we might have to cut that into 3 parts. That's kind of crazy.
Well, that's kind of what we had now. Because if it's
Like
36,
16 and 16.
that's literally like 18 episodes, which is not really too many more than we have now.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll see.
It might be a lot. It might be a lot of detail to cover for that kind of stuff.
Yeah, we might have to break
so,
it into like 12s or something.
Yeah.
But we'll get when we get there.
We'll do it. We'll do it. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
I'll send you the list and
Sounds
we'll
good.
see everybody next time when we finish the King Piccolo Jr. saga.
That's right. And the series.
Yep. And the series. Yeah. Wow. Which means I gotta do new artwork, I gotta do new intros, I gotta do new eye catches, I gotta draw new characters.
You got a lot of work to do before December.
Oh, that's the thing, Kevin.
I always
I
have.
always have a lot of work to do before December. All right, we'll catch you guys next time on Dragon Ball Rewatch.
Dragon Ball.
Be as free as you can be, a childlike love of fantasy. The world is a mystery for you and me. A miracle, an adventure to a single wish waits for you. The beating of your heart will see you through. When you think you can't go on, give it another try. The power of your youth is strong and as big as the sky. Search all over the valley, the mountains, and you'll see